What's up everyone, welcome back to another GNC RC video. Today guys, we have the Arrma Granite Grom. And as you can see, I went ahead and painted this thing. I did something pretty simple. We did the GNC RC logo, and we added a few RC all-wheel drive logos in the mix. Now when I run this thing, I'm not going to run it with that body that we have on there now. I'm going to run the stock body for right now. Still working on getting it to the point where it's really has settled down and it want to stay on the ground. But of course you guys know what my setup is, so it's probably not going to ever stay on the ground. I can get the suspension working a little bit better, let's just say it like that. So before the video gets started guys, if you don't mind, go ahead and hit that like button for me, share this video, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna give you a little quick brief overview of what I have done to this thing for the ones that hadn't seen the video, but make sure you do check out that video. Since the last video, I did go ahead and install the hot race and the wheelie bar. So we're running the Castle X2 Micro. We're running a 10 shock. I'm not going to tell you guys the KV right now, but it's a 10 shock in there. We are running a stock servo and a gyro by Atomic, 4S battery. And we have custom wheels by Gone Banana Racing Skins. Vitibon, steering link. We upgraded the links right here as well, but I'm going to change those out to the hot racing ones as well. And we're going to be running this with the Noble MB4. I want to go ahead and briefly address this issue I keep hearing about the diffs. Now, I've run this thing. I got video of it, but I kind of missed the video because I had a little surprise I'm going to be throwing in the video, which you guys will see on this video if everything works out right. I think I got this thing up to about 47. I've been using my radio at 50%, and I can't even get full throttle. Of course, it's too much power, which we knew in the beginning when I built this. I got a really big gear on this thing. You guys will be surprised how big that gear is, and it's not getting hot. This is a really efficient setup. I can even go larger. I can probably go to the largest gear that they recommend, well, that they show. I can go to the largest gear, no problem. I'm probably going to change the spur out, but as of right now, I'm not going to do anything with this one. We'll probably keep it the way it is. Reason being is because the new buggy is coming out. If you guys are not familiar with that buggy, make sure you go ahead and check out the link below. Now, I've run this. I've got this thing up to, I want to say I got a 47 out of it. And that was, like I say, I'm running at 50%. This radio goes up to 125%. And I got about 47 out of it. And that's at about, I don't know, it's not even 3/4 of the trigger pull to the point where it actually is going at speed, because it's constantly gaining speed. Because as you guys know, the places I'm running in, I just don't have that much real estate, and I just don't have time to take it to some of the places that I would normally take it to just to see what it would do. Now with that being said, I keep hearing everybody talk about these diffs. Now my setup and the speed that I have gotten it up to is more than 2 times of what the stock one actually runs. This one I have gotten it up to, it's 46, 47, something like that, maybe even 49. And again, like I say, I barely had all the power to it. Of course, I got this ESC program where I'm not putting all the power to it all at once, but it is a lot of power. This thing can still pull the front end up anytime I want to. I just flip the throttle just a little bit and it pulls the front end up. I will say, again, I talked about this in the past, had a mini E-Revo. I remember when everyone was shimming them. My stock one, I never had to shim them. I never had to change the diffs. And when I tell you I had a motor on it that was every bit as powerful as a 10 scale motor, it was a hand wound new motor, which I still had that one. I've been thinking about building another one of those trucks. But when I tell you, and I was running on 4S as well. The truck was never designed for it, but I was running on 4S. I don't really have video of it, but I do have a build thread of it. I don't know if I'm putting in this video or not, but it's on the Traxxas forum. But when I tell you that thing had a whole bunch of power, and I never messed up the diffs. Now, this is what I think a lot of people are doing. I could be wrong. And this can happen in any RC, but some RCs are a whole lot stronger than others, so it doesn't happen as much. When you jump this thing, you land on power, all that power has to go somewhere. So it goes to the diffs immediately, and it's going to break those diffs. If you flip this thing and you're on power when you land, it's going to mess it up. If you jump off the curb and you're on power when you jump off the curb, all that power is going to go through that drivetrain and it's going to those diffs. I'm not going to say the diffs are weak because I am running a whole lot more power than the majority of the guys that I see in the group. It's probably only a few guys that are running this type of power. Again, my radio's turned down to 50%. It goes up to 125. But this truck has seen 46, 47, or 49. I can't remember exactly what it was. And that's with the GNSS analyzer. Now, with that being said, some people are going to say, oh, no, you know, I don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. But I will be getting a video on that at some point. But right now, I'm just getting a little quick video on the performance of it. I'm just doing test hits. That's what I was doing when I ran it that day. I was doing some test hits, but I had a pretty cool video made. But I was going, well, you guys will see on this video. Am I going to upgrade my diffs? I probably will, and I may not, because on my Mini E-Revo, I ran those things for years. I bought the Mini E-Revo pretty much within the month that it came out, and I upgraded that thing right away. I think I ran it with the Millennium for, I don't know, a good month, because that motor that I had in it, it's a hand wound motor. It took about a month to get that motor. And I know this is gonna sound crazy. It was a 380 motor. The motor was $189 plus taxes plus shipping. But when I tell you it's a bad motor, it can take everything I was putting to it. Never got warm, never got hot. Same way with this motor. Of course, it's not that motor, but this is a really nice motor. No heat issues at all. Let's take this thing out here and let's see what it does. And of course, again, guys, like I said, I'm gonna be changing this body back to the stock. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Hit that sub button if you guys are not sub, and share this video. Okay, guys, we just got finished with the run, and what I'm about to say here is probably going to be a bit controversial, just due to the nature of this hobby. This has been my third run after upgrading this platform, and I hadn't had any diff issues. Now, of course, guys, I really never drive in the dirt. I only have certain vehicles that I will run in the dirt. When this first came out, I thought about a speed run platform. So this is the reason why I bought this. This is the reason why I'm gonna get the buggy, because I want to turn to something to just run up and down the street. Something I can take outside, throw it out there, run up and down the street, put it up real easy. I don't have to take my 5th scale out there or my 10 scales out there. It's just easy to grab this thing and go. I can put this in the truck while I'm at work, and if I'm out somewhere, I can throw it out on some pavement, nice pavement, get some speed runs in, put it back up, and keep going. That's another reason why I like the minis, but that's what I had in mind for this. And that's the reason why I built it the way I built it. Now, with that being said, I know some guys are going to say my runs are not going to apply to their runs, but I can say in my mind, I still think it does. It's all about throttle control. I'm not trying to debunk anything here, but I am saying with all of the power I'm putting down on this thing, a lot of the diffs that are being broken are due to throttle control. And I've seen where some guys have admitted it was their fault. Think about it like this, guys. You're driving your real car, and it dropped out of the sky, and you were on the gas. What do you think is going to happen? And I will say, all cars in the real world may not break right away, but it is going to cause some type of damage. So at some point, it's going to break. Could these diffs be tougher? I can't really answer that question for me because I hadn't had any problem out of mine. Mine hadn't broken. Mine hadn't even shown any sign of having a problem. So I can't say they have to be tougher or they need to be tougher, but that is the reason why they have upgrade parts. For most of us, when we get into this hobby, we're going to upgrade stuff anyway. I did one run on this just to get a top speed, just messing around, and I snatched everything out of it. I didn't put this thing back together, completely together, probably about a month after that, maybe even longer, because I like to build projects. I'm always working on different projects. For some, you just want to go out and you want to bash. Now, when you bash, you just have to remember throttle control. You have to remember a lot of different things, because I hear guys say, oh, I hit a tree with this brand and it didn't break. I hit a tree with that brand and it did break. But I mean, let's be honest. None of these are really made to run into trees. And like I said, this is going to be a bit controversial. We're going to get a difference of opinions on this. But this is just my experience with messing around with this. I have several other friends that have these, and they hadn't broken any either. And I'm basing a lot of this on, I'm seeing in one of the groups where the guys say they just took them out for street rips, and they broke. Stock form, of course, guys. I honestly don't see any way of breaking this in stock configuration. The lesson you jump in this thing, and once it hits the ground, you're on power. If mine hadn't broken, not saying that yours won't, these diffs are not as bad as everybody say they are. Again, this is my third run. This thing's been up to 46, 47, 49, somewhere like that. I know I didn't break 50. No problems. Now, of course, when this thing get a little bit airborne, which you guys have seen a spot on one of the videos where it kind of got in the air, I'm letting right off the throttle. And I also notice a lot of the guys that are having these problems are mostly guys that have just gotten into RC, I will say. I know during COVID, a lot of guys got into RC and they're still learning. That can happen with any of those if you are driving like that. Am I calling you a bad driver? No, not at all. For the ones that are going to be on power when you jump and you just kind of refuse to not use throttle control, I will say get the upgraded diffs. But what's going to happen when you get the upgraded diffs? So that power has to go somewhere. If it doesn't break the diffs, it's going to go somewhere. So just remember that, guys. All in all, guys, so far I think this is a fantastic platform. My only gripe about it is the looseness in the steering. But again, I'm pushing this thing to the max. There's no way it should be going this fast. I do have a gyro in here, so that does help out a whole lot. But again, the steering is a little bit loose, as you guys can see. But that's just part of the hobby. This is an RTR car, so you know that happens with RTRs. I did do a few upgrades here, but it's still not all the way like I would want it to be. But again, like I told you guys, this is a project, so this is a working project. I'm always working on these things. I'm always trying to find ways to go faster, ways to be more efficient with it. The only other issue that I noticed on this thing, I said earlier that it didn't get hot, but it did get pretty warm today because I did run that battery to the point where it was probably going to be close to shutting down as far as the low voltage protection. But the way I'm going to remedy that, I'm going to probably gear down because I do have a large gear on here, guys. It's one of the largest ones you can put on here. I'm going to gear it down. I really don't have a purpose for that large of a gear, but I'm going to go ahead and gear it down. It's going to be somewhat conservative, but it's still going to be fairly fast. But of course, this thing is on 4S. There's no way it can't be fast. I'm going to go ahead and grab some 2S batteries and some 3S batteries because my next project is probably going to be a 3S only because this is just overkill. But now what I will do, if I do want to get more speed out of that buggy, I can snatch this out of here and put that into the new platform. But I also have some stuff already for the new platform that is probably going to be faster than this. But I'm gonna gear it down quite a bit just to see what happens. As always, guys, I wanna thank you for watching this video. Till next time, this is GNCRC.